Hello everyone, my name is Ahmet. In today's C# video, we're going to discuss about multidimensional arrays and the error handling. Let's begin. Okay guys, let's start the multidimensional array. So, first of all, how are we writing our 1D array? We just come here and write int array equals null int, and we just assign its length here. Let's just say 5, or actually let me assign it with some values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are assigning 1D arrays like this, right? So, how are we going to assign a multidimensional array? Let's just start with the 2D arrays for now. So, to do that, I'm just gonna come here, write integer, put some square brackets, then I'm just gonna use comma. So, at this point, we're gonna have a 2D array here. So basically, let me just write 2D array. So, if I want to add more comma, I'm gonna get another dimension here. So, if I just put 1 comma from extra, I'm just gonna have 3D arrays here. But I'm not gonna do that for now. So, let me just try to assign some values to that. How are we going to assign 2D array as a value? As you might expect, I have 1D array here and the 1D values. So I'm gonna have 1D arrays as a value in my 2D array. So how am I gonna do that? I'm just gonna create another curly bracket inside of my curly brackets. Then inside of these curly brackets, I have some values. Let's just write 1, 2, and let me create another curly brackets and write 3 and 4. So how many values do I have? I have technically 2 values here. But as you know, this is a 2D array, so I have 2 values, and inside of those 2 values, I have 2 more values. So how are we going to count, or basically let's just say, how are we going to say those numbers positions? As you might know, we can just say in the 1D array, I can just say this start at 0, this 1, this 2, this 3, and this 4, right? 0th position, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position for the 5. But how am I gonna say the position of 1, for example? I'm gonna say the position of 1 by saying this curly brackets, all of the values inside of curly bracket is my 1D array. So this is technically a 1 value inside of my 2D array. So this whole curly bracket is actually my 0th position of this 2D array, and for this it's the 1st position. Now we need to look at the inside of these values, so I need to look at these curly brackets now. I looked at the first one, this is my 0th, this is my 1st, then I need to come here and check inside of these curly brackets and write, for example, this value's position now. So what I mean by is that if I just come here and write 0 again, 0 and 0, I get the position of my 1 here. If I write 1, I get the position of my 2. Why is that? Because these values are in my 0th position of 2D array, and inside of this technically 1D array, I have the position 0. Let's just say 0 for my 1 value here. Let's just try to print those arrays, right? So the arrays, okay. Let me just print those arrays. How can I print those arrays? If I want to print my 1D array and the 0th position of my 1, so basically I want to print out this 1, how can I do that? I just come here and write this smaller lowercase a, okay. I can just write like this, right? Is there some kind of problem here? Let me just do it again. Oh, okay. I'm getting out of this main method for some reason. Let me just do it like this then, and copy this there. Let me just write console, right line here, and write array 0. So this is going to get me my 1 value here. And of course I need to write console readline again. And of course I need to put comma between those values. Why is that? Because this is technically one value and this is technically also one value. So it's like this. It's like I have two values like that. So let me execute my program. And as you can see, I'm getting 1 here. So how am I gonna get the 1 in my 2D arrays value? So basically what I need to do, as you might remember, this is my value in the 0th position, so I need to write 0, then I need to put a comma, then write my 1 values position here. So what's the 1 values position here? Think of it like a 1D array. It's 0 again, right? So if I put my 0 here, I'm gonna get, of course I need to write 2D array, I'm gonna get this 1 value now. Let me just execute my command, and as you can see, I have the 1 value here now. Let's just try it for my 2 value, right? What's the position of this value? It's in my 0th position. Then I'm gonna check the 1D array's position. It's in the 1st position of my 1D array here. And for the 2D array, it's on the 0th position. So if I need to change this value to 1, I'm gonna get the value 2 here. And as you can see, I'm getting the value 2. Let's just do it for the 3 now. Which position has the 3 value? It's in my 1st position of the 2D array and 0th position of this 1D array. So 1 and 0. If I change those values to 1 and 0, I'm gonna get my value 3. As you can see, I get the value 3. And if I change this to 1, I'm gonna get the value, as you can see, 4. Let's just change this to okay. Now I explained how can I assign a value to 2D arrays and how can I print. But let's just say I don't know what the values in these 2 arrays, so I need to create a basically empty 2D array, an empty 2D array. How can we do that in 1D array? If I just come here and write array with 2 y's and say new integer, and let's just say the length is 5 and put a semicolon here. Of course I forgot this. Now this is an empty array, right? Empty array with a length of 5. How can I do it in my 2D array? It's actually very easy. If I just copy and paste this here, and let's just say this is going to be 2D double array, and if I just write new integer 5 comma 5, this means it's going to have 5 1D arrays, and inside of those 1D arrays I'm gonna have 5 values. So basically let me just add another values in here. So what do I have here? I have basically 3 1D arrays, so I'm gonna write 3 here. And what do I have inside of those values? I have 2 values, right? Inside of each those 1D arrays. So if I write 3 and 2, this is basically the empty array of this 2D array variable, guys. So this was it for the multidimensional arrays, guys. So let's move on to error handling. Okay guys, for our error exception part, I'm just gonna create our calculator version 2 again. Now let me just write int num1 num2 char operator, and I'm gonna ask for user's input. Then I'm gonna get those inputs and convert to integer, of course. Console readline. Then I'm just gonna copy all of these. Num2 our operator, and of course I'm gonna convert it to char. enter your operator and second num. Okay, I'm just gonna write the if arguments. Then I'm just gonna copy these 3 and 4 and write else, or wait, I'm not just gonna do that. Let's just change the else and say and multiply. Okay, now I need to write the answers of those and we can start. Okay, we are done. Now, what did we just do? I just created our calculator version 2, right? So, what was the error that I'm getting from here? I was getting, oh right, I need to delete this. Okay, I was getting an error from here. Why is that? Because my num2 can't be 0, and I was getting a format error if I enter anything else up from this mathematical operation, like I just did. I was writing A or anything else from the keyboard and I was getting an error, like wrong input, right? So I'm just gonna do that again. Let me start the program first and just write 5, 6, and let's just, of course I forgot this again. Okay, let me just write 5, 6 and divide operator. As you can see, I'm getting the real result. But when I try to write 5, 6, or not 5, 6, 5, 0, 5, 0 and the divide operator, as you can see, I'm getting an exception. I'm getting an error, right? It says divide by 0 exception. Now, what does this do? When this error happens, it shuts down my code and says, oh, you are getting an error here, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want my code to get shut down. Instead of, I want this error to be written on my command window. So how can I do that? To do that, I'm gonna use try and catch method. So if I come here and write try and catch methods here, what does this try do? In this try curly brackets, I'm just gonna write my whole code here, because this try means you're gonna put the code that is gonna get an error, or basically have a possibility to give me an error. You're gonna put those code in these tries curly brackets, and I'm gonna catch your error here and do something about it in those curly brackets. So let me just copy all of these and write in my try command, or I can just write this part because I'm getting error from this part, or all of my if else arguments. It doesn't matter really. I'm just gonna put all of these here. Then I'm just gonna execute my command again, and I'm just gonna write 5, 0 and divide operator, and as you can see, I'm not getting an error anymore, and my code is not shut down. Why is that? Because I have catch here. It catched my error, but of course I didn't write anything here, so it just freezes on the screen. It didn't do anything. But if I come here and write anything here, like just say error basically, and try to execute my command again, and just say 5, 0 and divide operator, as you can see, I'm getting an error. Why is that? Because I'm trying to divide 5 by 0. So it gives an error in my try commands, try methods, and it catches that error and execute this line of command. And to better, I can have an argument here, and I'm just gonna say exception. So this is a class, and as you can see, it colored in light blue as well. And I'm just gonna create an object in my exception class, and I'm just gonna say e, and I'm just gonna print that e out, and you're gonna see what's going to happen. To print that e out, I'm just gonna write e, put a point here, and write message. So it's gonna print me out that is message. Basically, it's gonna print out what was the error here, what's the error that I'm gonna get. So I'm just gonna write 5, 0, and divides, and I need to give you guys a heads up, because of my command screen is Turkish, my Windows is Turkish, and this command screen is Turkish, I'm gonna get the error as an Turkish, so it's going to be in Turkish language. So I'm just gonna press enter here, and as you can see, I'm getting the error. Let me just translate that for you. It just says division by 0 occurred. That division by 0 it's found. It just says that. It just says the error, name of the error here. So basically, again, it just says the name of my error. And what error can we get from this code? For example, we can get a format error, right? How could that happen? If I just write, like, I don't know, a instead of any integer number here, I can get a format error. Let's just start my command, and I give you a heads up again, it's going to write that error in Turkish again. I'm just going to write 5 and then a, and I'm going to the error again. It basically translates as the input string was not in correct format. Okay, but now I want to do something else. I want to write Ahmet. If I get an exception, what I mean by if I get the error division by 0, I need to print out Ahmet as well. But I want to print out Zengin if I get an format error. How can I do that? If I just come here and write, I don't know, like, not if, of course, console write line Ahmet, I'm gonna get this Ahmet in every error. For what I mean by is that if I just write 5 and a, I'm getting an error here and I'm getting an Ahmet here. But this is the format error. I don't want to get Ahmet in format error, format exception error. I want to get Ahmet line here in my division by 0 error. Or what I mean by is that, as you can see, I'm getting the Ahmet in both errors. I don't want to do that. I want to get Ahmet in my division by 0 error. How can I do that? I can write the error name instead of exception here. So I'm just gonna change this exception to, as you can see, it already popped up, divide by 0 exception. So this catch command block, it's only going to catch me divide by 0 exception now, and it's going to print out the name of the error, print out the error message, and Ahmet. Then again, I can add another catch block here and write format exception here. So this is going to get me the format exception error, and it's going to print me out the Zengin part now. Let me just execute my command again, and as you can see, I'm just gonna put 5 and then a here, and as you can see, I'm getting the Zengin here. And if I just write 5, let me move that a little bit, 0 and the divide operator, I'm getting the Ahmet here now. So what I mean by is that you can just write catch block multiple times and write the exception name here, and you can assign any comments between those curly brackets, and you can specify those comments to your error. Basically what I mean is that. And with that, our error exception and handling part is done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in our next C# lessons. Goodbye.